Hello everyone, this is Many Ninja speaking. This is a bit of a bonus episode in this case, but that's because we're taking a look at something that kind of caught my fancy when I was ordering some other items, so we're going to take a quick look at this knockoff version of the Kotobukiya Bishoujo line Felicia from Darkstalker statue, which, as you can kind of guess from the packaging here, is missing a few things, like some saturation on the inks, as well as all the official logos. So all the Kotobukiya logos themselves, as well as the specialized logo for the Bishoujo line, are missing on this packaging, which is also made of less than great cardboard. Faded colors of that. Although, in this case, my particular box was a little more beat up than usual, because this is how it shipped to me, inside of a bigger box. So yeah, not great there. Now, fortunately, the actual statue itself is fairly intact, and as you can see from the height here, is standing a little under 10 inches tall, which is a tad curious because the official height is about 10.24 inches, but even the real deal is not as big as it's supposed to be. So, curious enough. False advertising, if you will. Now, overall, this is about what you would expect on there for a much reduced price, but with that reduction in price, there is also a reduction in finish. Namely, there are going to be a lot of issues in terms of the overall paint finish and polish that do come up here, as well as some other things which are slightly off-kilter in terms of colors and such, being a little more faded than what you might expect in certain cases like the blues and such, and the eye decals being, from what I understand, slightly more muted than what the real deal should be. That being said, we do still actually have a little bit of settled shading throughout the various bits, which is a little more noticeable on the skin tone and such. But in terms of other bits that paint, such as the ears and anything that requires kind of a fine line painting, like the various fur bits, the paw pads, or the nails, you can readily tell that the polish is just not there. A lot of them are just plain not fully painted in because, well, there wasn't exactly the care for that. Funny enough, because those sections are actually roughly the right colors, it's just they didn't finish the job. Speaking of not properly finished, you're going to be finding a lot more seam lines on this particular knockoff than you will be on the real deal, and in oddly surprising places too, like on the bottom of the feet there, the shoulders you might have noticed earlier, and strange enough, the buttocks. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on that one. Lastly, the paint itself is not the most sturdy thing. As you can see, there's a lot more scuffs going along on the hair in particular, at least that's the more noticeable, and that was just from the clamshell. It is not the most solid paint that they use on this thing. That being said, you are paying less than half of what the real deal is, nearly around a third, in fact. So, do you want to save the cash on this one and touch it up yourself, or go whole hog, or hope that you have another sale like the Big Bag Toy Store had, where they had a 40% off? Your mileage may vary. Speaking of mileage, just as a general aside here for last minute, yes, I have found pictures and stuff of the Goku that guys have been asking me to review for the past video or so, or at least mentioned in the past videos. So, yeah, I guess we'll look at that and this thing too once I get it ordered in. But until then, we'll talk later. Bye for now.